The so-called elites are terrified of you understanding your true power, of you waking up to the fact that you are the co-creator of your life and that there are higher powers, not powers in a negative sense like a lot of the elite or the parasitic elite, not all of them, but some of them, probably a majority of them, but powers that you can connect to that are benevolent, that want the best for you, but most are unaware of. And there are simple tools that you already possess that are lying dormant within you, waiting to be activated, that if activated, can change the whole game for you, can open you up to a world of possibilities you maybe never dreamed could be available to you. But they absolutely are. And these are coveted secrets. And not secrets in the sense of it's super complex information, but secrets in the sense that so much of it has been disinformation to keep you off the trail, incomplete formulas so that you can't actually bake the pie, so to speak, properly, and usually a mixture of all three. And so today I'm going to be going over what absolutely those who are in power, who are not benevolent and want power for themselves and want to hoard that power, do not want you to know. But once you know it, you can never unknow it. And once you apply it, you can never go back. You will start to be able to live the way you truly want to live in your life. You will be able to create what it is you want to create for yourself. Truly, 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 so much is possible for you. And one of the biggest lies that has ever been told is that you are impotent, that you are fragile, that you are small, that you are weak, that you need all of these things outside of you. You need an authority figure to tell you what to do, a teacher, a parent, the government, to tell you how you should live, what you should do, that you're weak and fragile. But ultimately, you are insanely powerful. You are a spiritual being in a human body. And with that, you have so much power and things that you can access. And so we're going to go over some of what this is and how you can start connecting to realities, frequencies that bring about whole new circumstances for you. And this can operate so quick. I work with clients through this, through my Mold Your Reality program and also some advanced programs where it's more one-on-one coaching. And the results start coming through so insanely fast because this works really fast. It's another thing they don't want you to know. They want you to believe that it's going to take years for you to change, if at all. They put it in media like, oh, people do not change. They have programs to make you feel like this is your lot in life and there's nothing more you can do. And it not only is that not true, it couldn't be further from the truth. You are essentially source in a body. And do you think source is limited? Absolutely not. So let's go over how you can do this. Now, one thing I want you to start thinking about is how powerful your thoughts are. This is why there is so much programming, there is so much disinformation, bad information, negative information, because when you expose yourself to it, it invades and permeates your thoughts. It causes you to think things and latch on to thoughts that are not in your best interest. This is why when you watch TV shows, this is why when you watch the news, so much of it is calibrated at what we could call negative frequencies. Television, or tell-lie vision, right? It is one of the biggest propaganda tools or brainwashing mind control tools because these people understand the power of your thoughts and the power of the way you think and what is created for you. And if you can be led to believe in certain things, you become easier to swindle or convince to do their bidding or to use the power you have against yourself, to stay suppressed, to not ask questions, to not activate what you truly can activate within yourself. And so understands the power of your thoughts. It's something we take for granted and don't believe it's that much of a thing. Oh, wow, this thing that we're just able to do that's not in the physical world must not be too much to that. There's so much to that. You think about 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and most of them have been hijacked through certain programming and other things. However, thoughts access frequencies is what this is. Did I spell frequencies right there? I'm not sure. I think so. So thoughts access frequencies. You can think of your thoughts like dialing a radio to access a different radio station. Now, what do we know about those different frequencies is depending on the frequency you land on, it will determine the music that you'll get or what you will get on the radio. So you might turn to ones that you don't like through certain thoughts, and you might turn to ones that you do like. And understand infinite amounts of frequencies exist. There's so many frequencies. There's just millions and billions and trillions of these frequencies. But it is your thoughts that you send out or you engage with that determine the frequency that you're on. And so if you're consuming all of this stuff that's programming you in a certain way, and it's usually negative, it is attuning you to that frequency, right? It is attuning you. You know, have you ever heard those tuners, what are they called? The tuning forks, right? And how if you bang one and you have a bunch around, they all start attuning to that same frequency? It's the same for you. If you engage, think of TV and programming and all the things that you're thinking as a tuning fork going off, attuning you to that same frequency as those thoughts, or the things that you're engaging with, or at least a range that is similar to those thoughts. You have a range of these different kind of frequencies that are all kind of accessible when you're within a certain range. And so your thoughts are attuning you to certain frequencies. You know, there is a saying, and we'll jump to it right now because it's so powerful. You get what you think about most of the time. This is from Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret, but he didn't invent this, right? This was known in elite circles long before Earl Nightingale came around, right? It was something that the ancient Egyptians and mystery schools understood the power of their thoughts. There's a reason they were so studious. There was a reason the elites were the only ones who for a long time in history could read and were literate, because books were the way of transmitting frequencies and knowledge and influencing your thoughts by what you read. That was the main way of doing it. And it's why so many people were just, they didn't even promote it, right? Oh, it's just what the rich people do. It's what the elites do. Why do they want to read? Well, they understood that reading certain material attuned their thoughts, like a tuning fork, to attract certain things in, to put you on a certain frequency. Reading today is still one of the most powerful tools, depending on what you read. There's a lot of junk books out there in the same way there's a lot of junk media. However, when you find the right books to attune to, that will suddenly start changing your thoughts, which will change the frequency that you are now on. Now, moving on, but keep that in mind, you get what you think about and also feel about, which we're getting into most of the time, meaning what are you thinking about frequently, right? Frequency are you on frequently? So thoughts correspond to feelings. This is also crucial to know, is that your thoughts, your feelings, and also your physical doings, we'll call them, all are in what's called correspondence. This is a hermetic principle of correspondence. And what that means is something you do through your thoughts will have correspondence or communication with your feelings. Something you do with your feelings has correspondence with your thoughts. They play into each other. And also your physical. For example, if you think very negatively, you may notice your body language changing, right? When you see someone going down the street like this, do you think they're thinking of all possibilities in love and everything else? No, usually not, because there's an inner correspondence happening that's creating that body language. Usually when someone's thinking happy thoughts, you can tell that they're pretty happy, they're bubbly, there's an energy to them, right? Because there's correspondence, and it happens on all planes of your existence. And so your thoughts access frequencies. Really what it is your feelings powerfully access those frequencies, but your thoughts start dictating what the feelings are. Start thinking about something, right? Visualize something that you love. Visualize a pet. Think about your family member that you love. Think about a cherished moment. Did your feelings change? Give it a few moments. Give it 5 seconds. Think of yourself at a beach and the waves crashing down. Think of yourself in your favorite location. Think of yourself in just a cherished memory with a friend, playing with a pet, whatever it is, right? Did that change your feelings? Yes. Now, if you're not that connected to it, you keep thinking that, and you will eventually notice your feelings pretty quickly start to change as well. They are in correspondence. Again, you are having about 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Let the sheer number of that within a 24-hour period really wash over you. 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. These thoughts are creating certain feelings, which again are connecting you to certain frequencies. Now, why is it important what frequency that we're on? Because the frequencies are going to dictate what comes into your physical life, right? It's also going to dictate how you feel and just how you experience everything. But if you want to change what's in your physical world, you need to change the frequency that you're on. Again, if you're on rock and roll on the radio station, what are you going to get? You're going to get rock and roll, right? You're going to get rock and roll music. In this case, rock and roll music, or the music on the station, represents manifestations or things in your life. If you're on the jazz station, are you going to get rock and roll? No. So you need to change frequencies. You need to change the station. If you want to change what starts to appear in your physical, how you feel, how you look at life, it's all going to be colored by the frequency that you are currently on. And it is through our thoughts, feelings that this starts to occur. Another way we can say this is it is through your inner world. This is important to understand. through your inner world. Your thoughts and your feelings are not physical, right? They are not tangible. They are things that you cannot see. They are the unseen, but it starts to create the seen. It is what attunes you. It is the tuning fork, what strikes the tuning fork at a certain frequency that then brings more of that frequency into your life. It is through your thoughts and feelings. You're having only 60 to 80,000 of them a day. Maybe we should start being more intentional with them, right? Again, you get what you think about and feel about most of the time. You get the physical equivalence of this. And I'm telling you, there are people who do not want you to know this. These are the same people that control a lot of the media, that dictate what's on the news. Again, they're selective in changing this. Why aren't there more shows, more movies, more news that is positive? You know, there's a lot of great things happening in the world, not just things being on fire. But if we get you to hyperfixate, like if I get you to hyperfixate on the negative, what's going to happen? Well, now you're on that negative station, right? So what kind of manifestations are you going to get? What kind of songs? What kind of, you're on that station, you're on that frequency. What are you going to focus more on? Those things. But if I said, hey, you know, in this very natural place, this beautiful rainforest, this jaguar had beautiful cubs, and they're stunning, they're amazing. Here's some footage of them, they're playing. Oh, look at the cubs wrestle with each other. Isn't that amazing? Oh, and in this other place, this community came together to help this man who was struggling in their community. And he was down and out, and this community came together, and it was so beautiful, and it was so loving, and they helped this man, right? You don't usually typically hear that. They might throw that in every now and then, you know, to be like, hey, look, we're doing both, but 99% of it is negative. Why is every TV show drama-based? You think drama's a high energy or a low? It's very low, right? Why is there so much kind of pitting people together, pitting people against each other, right? Because they want you in lower frequencies. You cannot create what you want in lower frequencies. They can control your thoughts and feelings in lower frequencies. You break free from this by taking back control of what is your right to take control of, your thoughts and your feelings. They hijack them through programming, through media, through suggestion to keep you impotent. Knowing that if you break free from that, you become powerful and you almost become a threat to them. A sovereign individual is not what they want. They don't want a populace of free thinkers. In fact, there's even a quote by like Rockefeller or someone associated with him when they were creating the schooling system in America. This is very, very powerful to know, that they do not want a populace of, you know, thinkers and like doctors and all this. They want a population. If I can find the quote, I'll put it up. They want a population of workers. They want a controllable population. And when he says workers, back then they're talking about factory workers. And they create an education system to create this, right? Why is there a bell between each class? Why is it very specific with time? You get a lunch period. You get a little time for exercise, or you get all this different stuff. It was to prepare and program people to enter a workforce that they created and benefited them, right? And so this is how they've hijacked you, by trying to go for your thoughts and feelings. However, no one can do this without your consent or permission, regardless of what kind of consent it is. It can be informed consent, meaning you don't even know that you're agreeing to it because you're watching the shows, you're doing the thing, you've been doing that. Even if it's been addictive, even if you weren't the one to make that choice originally because a parent or someone else did that, right, unknowingly. However, understanding this now, we can start taking control of our thoughts and feelings. And here is a formula I want you to keep in mind that is going to help you to do this. And this reverses what most people are doing and what they would rather you do. This comes from Conversations with God, but this is called the be, do, have paradigm. You see, most people are doing this, and this is how we've been trained. It's called the have, do, be paradigm. Now, the have, do, be paradigm says, or you believe, that I have to have something, whatever that may be, like I have to have money, I have to have a degree, I have to have X, Y, or Z, basically to be enough to go and do something. So now I'm enough. I can go do the thing I truly want to do rather than just connecting to that right away and just doing that. And then once I've done that, I will finally be something. I'll be successful. I'll be worthy of love, you know, whatever else it is. And you can also understand how this would very much hijack your thoughts. You're thinking you're so low the whole time. You're thinking that you're not enough. You're thinking that you're unloved. But what we really want to do is called the be, do, have. The be is connecting to the thoughts and the feelings first. connecting to love, connecting to peace, connecting to joy, connecting to gratitude first. Getting yourself on that frequency. When you're on that frequency, you will naturally do things. You will be compelled and moved to do things. You'll feel it. It'll almost be like you're being pushed to go do things because you're so excited. I feel that way about making this stuff, right? Because I'm being in a certain frequency. This wants to come out and express itself through this. And then you will start to naturally have, after enough time, the natural result of that frequency. Again, that music will start coming through in the form of opportunities, people, events, circumstances will start to come through. And so we want to start moving in this be, do, have paradigm. And what I wanted to get into here is another thing they don't really want you to be aware of, because most people believe that there's this reality, so reality number one, and that's basically all there is. Like, that's just my lot in life. Maybe there's another one. It's like, oh, I could have done this or I could have done that. But that's it, right? They feel in this low place, have, do, be. That's what's available. But in actuality, it's infinite. Everything is available. Everything is possible. There's so much you can access to. This doesn't mean in this woo-woo way of snapping to it. And it's like, oh, now all the physical stuff comes in. The physical stuff takes time because the physical stuff operates in a realm of time and space. Your thoughts and energy and things do not, but this physical realm does. So it takes some time of concentrated particle flow, which is energy, thoughts and feelings, for the physical to start changing. But if you do that long enough, you'll start to realize, like, wait a second, I have this access, I have this. Oh my God, there's so much I can do. They do not want you to understand and know that you have so much available to you. There's so many possibilities that through your thoughts and feelings, through the inner world, you can create so much. Understanding that you get what you think and feel about most of the time. This puts you on a completely different frequency than the ones they want you to be on. And through that, you get freedom. Through that, you get results. And again, I've seen, this is not just coming from just words or just, oh, I've heard, this sounds nice. I've seen it done in my own life, in my clients' lives. I mean, we opened up Mold Your Reality a little over a month ago, and we've had so many people with a wins and celebrations section that's just been filling up because they're doing this. We're helping them do that. We're helping them stay accountable to doing that. And the results are incredible because when you start accessing your true power and using it, it starts making changes very quick. Because not only are you not suppressing yourself anymore through being on these lower frequencies, but you are quickly shooting yourself up to those other frequencies and stations where, again, these other things exist, and those things just start finding their way into your life. You start being it first. You start naturally doing certain things that come up, again, almost out of nowhere, and through doing that, you start to have. So if that's something you're interested in, you really want to get this handled, and you want to start living in a way where you're able to gain control of your thoughts again and your feelings and start creating what you want, you can learn more down below. We've made it incredibly affordable so most people can join, because I want to get it out to most people. My other program that I offer is thousands of dollars. You can look at that too. It's more kind of one-on-one. We go through a very particular process. But I made Mold Your Reality so more people can start getting results and start learning this stuff and start, just accessing that power that's in you. It's there. It's in you. It's laying dormant. Let's get it up. Let's get it out. Let's get it expressing in your life so things can change. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, you're really going to enjoy this one next, which is just going to help you go even deeper into these concepts to start creating even more of what it is you want in your life. So if you had some fun here, go check that one out next.